Yes, this is a book that I'd like to share with lots of people. It's a novel written by Violet Jacob, published in 1902, and it's called The Sheep Stealers, and it's a very precious book to me. I discovered it in about 1974. I was loaned a copy from a local family, very well worn, wrapped in wallpaper, and as I read it, it was just amazing. It's filled with local references. It's about a novel about the sheep stealer, Rhys Walters, and it's set in Lanighan, and there's so many local references: Crosshowell, the Boiling Wells, the Peddler's Stone, the Dipping Pool, which is over by Penrowell Chapel, and many other local references. The local dialect, I think, is quite well represented. Otherwise, it's probably, as a novel, it's probably maybe something of its time, a bit of a thriller, a bit of a there's a little romantic interest in there. But for me, the local interest is the real interest. And a couple of years after we came across this book, some friends had borrowed some documents. The Black Mountain Graziers were having a bit of a dispute with the Lord of the Manor on Hay Common, and so they borrowed some of the records from the estate, the court leet records and other things, and because their family antecedents were in the rent rolls and that type of thing, and so went and had a look at these documents. And at the time, which would have been maybe 1976, 7, sometime around then anyway, went up to see these documents just out of interest, and found, I managed to photocopy them. At the time there was only one photocopier in Hay in those days, in Trevor Griffiths' solicitor's office. That's Gabbs now. And because I had found in the 1837 court rolls, in the rent rolls, Rhys Walter of the Bull, he was a tenant at that time. And then a few years later, in 1851, Rhys Walters, unfortunately, convicted of the felony in sheep stealing off the commons of the manor, and he is now undergoing imprisonment for the same. So it would have been, if one had been able, it would have been really interesting to see Violet Jacob's notes. We were told at the time that she was a friend of the family at Thomas in Lanighan, and so obviously she came on her visits and must have talked to quite a few local people. And